This is what it is, okay? I said, empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now, you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now, water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
Good morning, Fight fans. I'm Jay Cotto, and along with me, I have my friend. That's right, my friend, my brother, OG Boogie. Good morning to you, my brother. How you doing this morning, kid?
Good morning to you. Blessings.
Definitely,
Just want to say I'm appreciative of being here. Thank you.
no doubt, bro. And I'm very appreciative and very thankful that you wanted to do this on my channel. It's an honor, my brother. And I'm a martial artist myself, retired, but in my heart and soul, I'll always be one. And just basically, you are one too. So we have to talk about the master. We had to break it down for some people because some people just don't understand the not only the art style but the philosophy, and none other and no one better than OG Boogie to educate us and bring us to exactly where we need to be with Master Lee. So let me just give you an introduction and his biography. Bruce Lee, born Lee Jun Fan, commonly known as Bruce Lee, was a Hong Kong American actor, director, martial artist, and a martial arts instructor and a philosopher. He was born November 27th, 1940, in the Chinese hospital in San Francisco, California. He died July 20th, 1973, in Kowloon Tong, Hong Kong, from a brain edema. He left behind his spouse Linda Lee Cadwell, his daughter Shannon Lee, and his deceased son, who was actually a great martial artist and actor as well, Brandon Lee, and his martial arts students, which this is only some of them, but this is what they have. They have Taki Kimura, they have James Yim Lee, amongst many others, and of course, OG Boogie will break it down. His basic martial arts was Wing Chun, boxing, and Kung Fu all around. You know, so OG, tell us what can we expect from this little Bruce Lee gathering that we've made here, and what information would you like to share with us, my brother?
Well, we're gonna dabble into his philosophy and his core strength on how he believed that a human weapon, if you train it properly, can become something that nobody ever seen through physical attributes, through mind strength, and through the technique.
Mm,
And I'm gonna tell you a little bit about my background.
definitely.
Uh, I was a amateur boxing, Golden Gloves in New York. I had 22-0 with 20 knockouts. Uh, I had stopped my career. I had to grow up, and then that's when fate intervened, and I started boxing again. I met Sweet Pea Whitaker up in Norfolk in 23rd Street gym, and the owner was a barber, and I forgot what his name was, Mr. Todd. And from there, I got introduced to martial arts through some fate, and it wound up being with Frank Cucci. Frank Cucci is an ex-Navy SEAL. He, I believe, he was in SEAL Team Six. Um, he taught me and other classmates that have martial arts schools that I just didn't have one because I didn't start one. But I can name a couple of them: Wase Moran, uh, uh, Edwin Quintana. Which he was my training partner because nobody else wanted to train with us because we kicked too damn hard. We took we took we took the actual training of the martial arts while other people was just doing it just to do it. We took it seriously. That's why we took it upon ourselves to train with each other, because he knew my attributes, I knew his attributes. He knew I go hard. He wanted to go hard.
Let me ask
So
you something. Let me ask you what
yes,
styles
sir.
did you take into your arsenal?
Well, I believe through the instructions with Frank, and then when I met Guru Dan, I've incorporated all styles in my arsenal, as in you got 4 ranges. Okay, you got kicking range, you got punching range, you got trapping range, and you got grappling range. So you have to incorporate those into your arsenal, because it allows you to, through muscle memory and practicing and utilizing and understanding what you're doing, not just going with the flow and throwing a punch.
Right.
No, you got to understand also what you're doing.
Right. And also
And
being
then,
and also being limitless, because that gives you
right,
lots of selection. You know what I mean?
because your mentality, going through your mentality through the philosophy of Bruce, your mentality, you have to open up your mind. You have to flow with everything that comes around. You have to create a, a, a an attack that's coming to you, and you have to react to it. And
Exactly.
when you react to it, it should be effortlessly.
Exactly. It's like he said, it's like he said, to be formless is to have form. You know what I mean? Meaning,
Yes.
whatever you train for, you're supposed to forget and let it flow naturally, because, like you said, the muscle memory, it'll come to you. But that comes with lots
Yes.
of, but it comes with lots of, it comes with lots of training.
Sparring.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sparring, training.
Yep.
Like, it's just like, how can I put it? Martial arts, you gotta love it or hate it. It's just like a girl. You
Yeah.
gotta love her or hate her.
Yep. Yep. And what's funny is that the pain and all
Yes.
and everything you go through, it sort of becomes like a medicine that we need before training. It becomes a rush that you need. It becomes that extra
Yes.
push. That pain is exactly what reminds you of what's making you stronger. The mental, if it stresses you out, it's because it's working. When you're doing a martial
Yes.
art and it stresses you out mentally, you're not supposed to take a break from it. You're supposed to embrace that, because that's a frustration that you're going to meet against your adversary, right?
Yes.
Thank you, brother.
And this is one thing. This is one thing that Bruce's philosophy is, okay. He broke it down for you as simple form, that he wants you find your natural attributes in your own being and then enhance it.
Right.
See, like my natural attribute was speed and power. When I was boxing, like I said, I had 22 and over 20 knockouts. The reason why is I practiced on my technique, meaning
Nice.
I didn't worry about hitting the heavy bag, and I when I hit the heavy bag, I had purpose of
Right.
hitting the heavy bag. I
Right.
wanted to bestow upon myself to input a technique, and then what is going to be the reaction back to me. And
Yeah.
then that's why when I trained with guys that was 6'3", guys heavier than me, heavyweights. I was only 140 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing, right? It's amazing on how you can stay lean, trim, powerful, right? When you're at
Yeah.
it, and you continue at it. And then once you start laying off, you can feel the difference. And what I mean the difference is, you felt lighter, you felt in harmony with yourself, mind and body and soul. But once you stop the practice, you still have the soul and you still have the mind, but the body goes.
Yeah.
You know?
Especially as you get older,
Yes.
you you get older, you're gonna slow down. You can. It's like I believe one movie that I saw that it was a quote from Ip Man, and he said, "I could be the best now, but there will all be my student will be better than me in
Yes.
the future."
Yes. Yes. Amen. Yes. That's powerful. That is
You know what I'm
powerful.
saying? Because he knows he's a bad motherfucker, but there's always going to be some up and comer that's going to come. It's just like boxing.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
just like boxing.
Yeah.
Any wartime sport, any sport, there's
Mhm.
always going to be an up and comer that's going to be better than you.
Exactly. Just like you know who Hector Lavoe is?
Yeah.
He said todo tiene su final. That means
Eso mismo.
he's saying
Eso mismo.
everything has its finale. So that means that you can
Yes.
be on top of the world a couple of years, but eventually, as you get older and you diminish, so does that whole kingdom that you had diminishes, and it only diminishes because of the time of you getting older. In some cases, and I can't say all, in some cases, some people have abandoned that, and it has fallen apart on them. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes. You have to train yourself. No matter how old you get, you have to train yourself in every form and fashion with your mind, because your mind will carry you. If you're mentally strong, your mind will carry you. Even if you have emotional weaknesses, your mind will still carry you. Is that you have to adapt.
Exactly. You have to adapt. As a matter of fact, let's listen to one of his philosophies here and let's break this down. Ready?
Go for it.
What it is, okay? I said, empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now, you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now, water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
And that is the best way to actually break down how you adapt.
Yep.
That whole philosophy is on adapting. And a lot
Yep.
of boxers, a lot of UFC fighters, a lot of wrestlers, a lot of even basketball players. I mean, everyone in sports has taken this philosophy and has put it into their regimen in life.
Because look at the concept.
Now, OG,
If you are
for guys that don't
Yeah.
understand this philosophy, yeah, go ahead. No, I wanted you to break it down in your terms. Go ahead.
Okay, think about a basketball player. You're a beginner. You just, matter of fact, I'll go primitive. Think about a newborn child. What does it do? It can't walk, it can't crawl, it can't do nothing. It just lays on the floor with his hands out, stretching out, trying to kick, trying to move, because it don't understand. But as it grows in mentality, as it grows in wisdom and understanding, oh, I can control these ligaments. Okay, now it gets up on his knees and his hands, and then the process begins. Oh, it went from one base to another, and then from that other, it kept on building. So it went from the hands to the and knees. Then he started crawling. Then he started standing, learning how to keep his balance. Then he walked. Then he ran. Simple philosophy.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I'll put it in fighting terms. You've got you let's say you're boxing and you've got a man who's ahead on the scorecards, right? Because he's outpointing you. The reason why he's outpointing you is because you haven't adapted to his jab. You haven't adapted all around to his attack. So now what do? You sit down and you refocus. So now his jab is coming towards you. And what do? There are many situations to adapt to that jab. You can either block it or you can either do the most obvious thing, which is move out the way. It depends how you move out the way. You can go backwards, you can go to the left of it, you can go to the right, or you can even go under it. And there's another option. You can punch over the jab. But of course, you have to fit in that form. So if the man is jabbing, you would have to be more fluent than that man's jab, than that man's movement. You would have to adapt to that man's jab and that man's movement. His attack will be coming at you about 80%. You would have to be 80% plus more with your attack. You see, it's like a mirror image. The thing is, you've got to fit that mirror image and then become your own image. So this is exactly what he meant about adapting. This is exactly what he meant about being formless. When the water goes into a cup, it becomes a cup. So when the man jabs at you, you become that movement of that jab countering his. So therefore, you've adapted, you've adjusted, and now you're crashing like water. And when you're off the attack, you're flowing like water. That's basically what I got out of that.
Yes. Because in a fight, that's why you train your body to be prepared, to have your physical attributes prepared. Your mental state has to be calm. There's that calm water. You have to know how to flow. If that person has the intent to try to harm you, you have to learn how to react from his reaction. Like Jedi said, you got to do that mirror image, but it's your ability, your adaptiveness, your practice in your own art or your own fighting style,
Right.
that will prevail.
Right.
Okay. And
Yeah.
you have to mirror that image, but then throw something else at that mirror, because now he's going to be like looking, oh, snap, that was new. But
Yeah.
you make them pay.
That's right. That's right. And another philosophy that he said that goes with that, which everybody should take in life. And I think this is the most brilliant one. He says, do not pray for an easy life. Pray for the strength to endure a difficult one.
Yes.
You see, that right there can give you the strength that you need to go forward, man. You know,
Yeah, never have no obstacles too great for you to proceed.
mhm,
There is none.
mhm.
The only one is death.
Right. And at the same time, you shouldn't pray for things to be easy, because there are other people who are having a hard life. And if anybody's having a real hard life, they don't even deserve to have an easy life just off of prayer. So you should pray only for the strength to actually endure or defeat that difficult life or that obstacle. That's the only way you'll learn. That's the only way people will learn, is going through the difficult, hard times and obstacles and
And
adapting.
challenges. And
Exactly.
challenges.
Yep, exactly. Now let's take it. Let's talk a little bit of stories on Bruce Lee here. I know that there was a story between him and Chuck Norris. It was a Hollywood party. As a matter of fact, I think it was for the premiere of
Yeah.
the Green Hornet. And Chuck Norris just happened to be at that party. Now, mind you, this was in the producer's house. It was a Hollywood party being thrown. They had a pool that was about, I would say, 20 feet going the long way, and the short way going across was I think it was like 5 feet across. It was one of those real nice rectangular small pools, right? So
Yeah.
one of the people had asked Bruce Lee to demonstrate a kick. Now there was a bet going on that people had said, I bet Bruce Lee couldn't kick anyone across this pool. Now Bruce Lee said, I can, but we don't have the safety for this. So Chuck Norris goes in to the house, comes out with, of course, the upholstery of a sofa, which is the the pillow you sit on. When you remove it. So he came on with
Yes.
2 of them. He duct taped them, and he goes, "Okay, Bruce, kick me. Go ahead, show him what you can do." Because at the time, Bruce Lee was teaching him and Kimura high kicks. Because Chuck Norris really didn't have that. Wasn't really that good with high kicks. He wasn't really that good. He was a good low to mid range kicker. But Bruce Lee is what
Can
taught.
can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Remember that picture that I sent you? I don't want you to post it because I want to do that some other day.
Yeah, that's on part 2. Yeah, go
But
ahead.
if you look behind, in between me and Guru Dan
Yeah,
and my sons, you look in the middle, there's a big round red bag that Dan got his hand on my shoulder and I'm standing candid, and you'll see that red bag from the middle of my leg and it passes Guru Dan's hip.
right.
Well, that was Bruce Lee's 400-pound bag that he kicked.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. And what's funny is that going back to the story, Chuck told him, "Go ahead, Bruce, show him what you can do. Show him what you got. Show him your stuff. Kick me. Go ahead." So what did he do? Of course, he got into the position ready to catch the kick. Bruce took off his fucking jacket, just took one step and gave him the side kick. Chuck Norris did not touch that pool water. He went from that
A to
5 foot
B.
span, yeah, from A to B, and landed on the concrete. And there's somebody that has that video footage. They just won't release it. I'm more than sure Shannon has that. You know what I mean? Because she has a
Yeah,
lot
they
of
can't. I'll tell you why they don't do it, because they don't want to give a false outlook of Bruce. You
Right.
have to keep him
Yeah, you have to keep.
mystical in a way that they don't want to say, "Oh, he's a bully," or that that
Yeah.
you don't want to tarnish.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I'm not saying he kicked them across the 20-foot span. No, he kicked them across the 5-foot span, because the 20-foot is the long and then going across, from left to right, not up and down. Like when you have a pool, you have the long measurement and then you have the pool going across. So it would be like 8 by 11. He kicked. So if the pool was 8 by 11, he kicked them on the 8-foot side. He kicked them across 8 feet. But that pool was 20 by 5. So it was 20 feet
Bro,
long and 5 foot across. He kicked them across the 5-foot span. You know what I mean?
there's
And
some
that's
stuff
amazing.
there's some stuff that Guru Dan showed me that has never been witnessed or videoed. And nobody, because the inner circle is not gonna release it. But
Right.
he showed me some stuff, dude. Of Bruce kicking that 400-pound bag, and he was tossing that bag with one step, thrust, side kick,
Yep, that was his most powerful kick.
and dude, with that one step, thrust, side kick, he threw that bag. You see the bag. I mean, from impact, it like it looked like it's a accident, a car accident, and then just went up in the air with kinetic energy. That's how much kinetic energy he had. It went up in the air, and then it came back swinging.
Yep. Hell yeah. He was
Now
powerful.
you know how much power with one step,
Yeah, to generate that on a 400-pound bag.
and the man was only 130, 132, 137.
Yeah, his heaviest was 137.
Yeah.
That goes to show you he was the master of kinetic energy. He mastered kinetic energy. This guy will blow you across a room with one punch.
Dude,
You know what
Guru Dan told me when you touch Bruce, it was like touching steel.
Yeah, bro. Hell yeah. And I think that what
He
gave
said-
him that, I think what gave him that brain edema was that the fluids in his body, he hardly had any, right? So
Yeah.
you actually
Well,
need
I can
fluid.
tell you, I'll tell you off stage on that.
Yeah. Because brain edema is like, I know we're going to talk about that, but on record, since they say it's a brain edema, right? That happens because he hardly had, I mean, my man only had like 1-2% body fat, and he carried that with him every day. This guy would work out. He would be doing push-ups 5 minutes every day of his life. That's not really healthy, but this is exactly why Bruce Lee had this power over physicality. He mastered physicality. You know what I mean? This man mastered kinetic energy. So when you have your mind, body, and soul formed into one, you've already mastered what the human being, the human force, the human nature is. And this is exactly why I call his death a sacrifice. Not no Illuminati, no, a sacrifice to show us.
No, it was no Illuminati. It was
No.
it was a sacrifice for martial arts.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, his sacrifice was to show us that the human body and mind, once it's connected, can go beyond the expectations of a human being.
Yes.
That's exactly what he showed us. And this is exactly why we're here. What's up, Lisa Bales? What's going on? My man Jeff is in the house. Everybody.
Queen Lisa.
No doubt.
What's up, Queen Lisa?
You know, so let's talk about the 1-inch punch. Let's talk about that beautiful 1-inch punch, because I myself learned how to do that. And how about
let me throw in interject in this about the 1-inch punch.
Yeah.
How who he first showed it to.
Yeah.
Which was Danny Nasanto.
Right.
They was out. Dan was telling me that he was out in the school, walking the yards, wherever. Bruce knew him. They cordially got introduced between them. This was way back, and so Dan, he knew that Dan knew Kempo Karate through Ed Parker, and then Bruce said, "Hey, I got this punch to show you." So he said, just be ready. I'm going to hold this right here in front of your stomach. And I want to see if you could block it. And I'll let you touch it. By the time I go to hit you, I want you to block it. Like, try to move it aside, or, use sensitivity, try to, react when he reacts. Right. So when he did it, he hit him so quick and so fast and so hard that Danny Nasanto told me he fell to his knees and started throwing up right there.
Hell yeah, bro. Hell yo, my man punched the DNA out of him. He punched his lunch, dinner. You know what I'm saying? Yo, bro. I mean, listen, we have a question here. We have a question here from my man Christian NWO. What's up, my brother? Good to see you. Good morning, man. God bless you. He says, what do you think of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood's portrayal of Bruce Lee? It was comedy. It was comedy. That should never happen, but it was comedy. I kind of found that insulting but funny. You know what I mean? Shannon Lee laughed at that because she was like, my father would have beat whoever it was, but that never happened. Like that never really happened. You know, Quentin Tarantino has a certain hate for Bruce Lee. I don't know why, but it's been known in Hollywood he has a certain hate for Bruce Lee, and I really don't respect Quentin Tarantino because he has good movies, but you notice there's always perversion in him. So he's a little sick. But so yeah, that's how we feel. How did you feel about it, OG?
I took it as a jest, but it still, if it was offensive to other people, you shouldn't have put it out there like that. You know what I'm saying? Because first of all, the man has passed away, so now you're persisting as a mockery. Right.
And it wasn't
that's being disrespectful to a person.
Exactly.
And that's dead or alive.
Exactly. And that's another thing. Bruce Lee was never braggadocious. As a matter of fact, he had a rule, which he says showing off is the fool's idea of glory. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what he would say. So in other words, he's saying a fight should only take about maybe 60 seconds. If it takes more than that, you're showing off. You know what I mean? And it's true.
Yep.
If look, a regular street fight usually ends in about a minute or two. If it depends who's really real or both are real. Somebody's gonna get knocked out or somebody's gonna get really, really critically hurt, right? So what Bruce Lee's saying is if you're throwing your hands in the street and you're taking more than 60 seconds to fight, one of you or both of y'all really don't want to fight. So don't waste your time. Because all you're doing is just showing off. And that's the idea, that's a fool's idea of glory. So for Quentin Tarantino to not do his education on Bruce Lee and to print something like that, it's funny. It's parody, but it's not true. You know what I mean? It's not true. And everybody in Hollywood to give you the story about Bruce Lee on how they wanted to learn from him. He had Steve McQueen. He had a lot of Hollywood stars. He was like the first Hollywood guru. You know how you got your Hollywood workout gurus now? Bruce Lee was the first one to start that. Bruce Lee was the first one to franchise martial arts in the United States of America. Bruce Lee was an innovator. People just don't understand it. You want to break it down to them.
Bruce Lee did things that his old world Chinese martial artists didn't allow him to do, and he had to fight for every inch of what he did to bring it out. And long as he had from his master that pushed it to him, that say, hey, it should be everybody and all that stuff, and he taught it to everybody. He didn't have no color barrier. He didn't have no gender barrier. He'll teach you to be able to strengthen your mind and your physical being. And that was his philosophy. He wanted to train you to see all your potentials in your and man, I wish I was there to meet him in person. I only got the best thing to do was to meet Guru Dan, which was with him. And right now, Guru Dan is 85 years old right now.
Yeah, because Bruce Lee would have been 80. Bruce Lee would have been 80 right now. Yep.
Yes. Dan Inosanto was older than Bruce. Taki Kimura is older than Dan Inosanto.
Right.
Yeah.
Taki Kimura is a Japanese expert from judo and what is it? Shotokan, is it? Shotokan?
Yeah, Shotokan, Rujan, I believe. Shotokan. There's another acronym that comes behind it.
Gyro
I can't
Guru.
remember.
Gyro Guru. Oh no, Gyro Ryu, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah, something Ryu, something like that.
Yeah, Shotokan Gyro Ryu. That's what it is.
Yeah. Because his background is more, of course, he's Japanese. He comes from karate, but then when he went with Bruce, he met with Bruce, and of course he had to test himself. So when he tested himself, he found out, there's better ways. Okay, and then that's when not being cocky is just like, hey, let's work together. You know what I'm saying? Because if Bruce didn't think he didn't see something in Taki Kimura that gave him trouble, why do you think he kept him?
Exactly. To work.
Because he brought something to that thing. And then now he's like, okay, cool. Now we learn together. Of course, other people can excel faster than to develop their own personal understanding of what they experience in a fight.
Exactly.
But you have to fight.
Yes.
And then the misconception, what people been saying, that Bruce Lee ain't never fought nobody or anything like that. Yeah, okay.
That's crazy. And I'm gonna give you a little bit more. You guys a little bit more on the philosophy, right? This one is one of my favorites too. Let's just say you don't know how to learn on how to be defeated, right? He had something for that too. Let's just say you take this should go to Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder, pay attention. Bruce Lee said, to learn to die is to be liberated from it.
Yes.
So that means that if you've got defeated, embrace it, because it too will free you from that to give you life to come back and avenge. Understand? That's what he meant. And that's a beautiful, to learn to die is to be liberated from it. So once Wilder lost, he should have came to grips with it, said he was the better man, but I'll be back. This is exactly what he should have done. Yep. You know what I mean?
I totally agree with that statement.
do you remember these stories that were going around where Bruce Lee used to have rooftop fights in Hong
Yeah,
Kong? Do you know
yeah.
any of them? Do you know any of them?
I can't really talk about any of the privacy of that because of I don't want wrath of the higher ups telling, you know, there's secrets that you have to keep.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
But Bruce Lee did
From what you heard,
was a boxing champion in high school. He did have boxing title. Boxing was his influence. Muhammad Ali, when he came out later on, Cassius Clay and all that stuff, and Bruce Lee used some of his movements, and he saw how Muhammad Ali used to use his footwork to maneuver himself in and out to be able to triangulate and find out where he could hit him, so he knew his own range, his own style, his own skill, and he utilized that. Also, he incorporated it in JKD
right, right.
because Bruce Lee used, I believe, over 37 styles from anywhere from Savat, uh, Pajet Salat, from grappling, taekwondo, karate, Muay Thai. I believe it was like 37 styles
Right.
just to incorporate into finding out. And when I mean 37 styles, the man knew when he started off, before he started off with doing Wing Chun, he did Gung Fu.
Right.
It started with a G.
Right.
And that was
yeah.
it's a traditional style of martial arts, meaning the long ridge hand, like Shaolin, the fancy side that you move hand movements and gestures like that.
Yeah, and you punch with this side of the knuckle. If you can look in the screen, see this here.
Yeah.
So it's more like an attack.
Yes.
So let's just say if you're lopsal, instead of hitting them flat when you're lopsal, you would boom. This was good for close contact. From here, you can go to a finger jab, right in the eye. From this, but this right here would basically break your orbital bone if you strengthened it. This is why Bruce Lee used to do 2-finger push-ups.
Oh man, don't talk about them. Please talk about his 2-finger push-ups. That man was so strong.
Bro,
look, I learned how to do I can do even now that I'm 51, bro. My fingers are so strong. I have 65 pounds of pressure if I squeeze you. And I'm not a big dude, but I used to train off of Bruce Lee's. When I saw him do the 2-finger push-up, dude, that was my whole passion. I've got to be that strong.
Yeah.
And look, I went from 5 fingers. I could go, even to this day, I can still do it. I could do 5-finger bridged push-ups, take out a finger each time I go down, come up, I take out a finger. I could go up to my thumb and come back to my 4 fingers.
Yeah.
And if I hit you, people look at my hand. I'm a small dude. I'm only 5'8".
Yeah.
I'm only 5'8", 5'8.5". But a guy that's 6'5", 6'6", they got monstrous hands. They got longer hands than me. But when they put their hands next to me, they like, God damn, man, how the hell you got some big ass hands?
Yeah.
Bro.
Motherfuckers don't understand. Listen, when I used to train, when I used to callus my knuckles, this is why to this day I can punch a punching bag and not scrape, and I'm saying a canvas one. So if you punch,
not scrape your skin.
And to this day, I haven't competed in a long time. My knuckles are calloused to this day, bro. Like I still have my calluses on my knuckles, bro. You know what I'm saying? My knuckles are so calloused. And I used to train by hitting pebbles and rocks. I mean, little pebbles and rice, dog. And that shit, as well as your fingertips. your fingertips as well. I have arthritis now. You can tell that they're starting to bend on me, but I used to hit them shits, bang, bang, and hit the shit, bang, bang, right? And then up to the wall, you hit the shit, bang, bang, bang. Hit the shit with the fucking hooks, bang. Hit that shit with the boom, with a nice uppercut, right? Then, of course, that when I got into Muay Thai after the Wing Chun, got into Muay Thai, of course, the elbows and the knees become fucking ridges of fucking blades. So it's like, Bruce Lee's philosophy on training, it goes with any style. Any style. You can take that with you in any style. And boxing, Bruce Lee had the best entrances in boxing. This is why I speak entrances. You want to speak on that? Go ahead, brother.
No, I'll let you speak first on that, because on the my footwork, what I learned off of Jeet Kune Do, it's a myriad of, or should I say, is a conglomeration, how I could perceive it as, and I'm gonna speak it. It's a conglomeration of what I learned through Muay Thai, through boxing, through kicking, from Muay Thai to the Taekwondo. I was never the thing, but getting into my foot position, it was the triangle theory, and then that's how Guru Dan broke it to us. How Bruce Lee used the triangle theory to get in and out on you. He used, like, the center line is when he's already of the side of you. The center line could be anywhere. Right. Center line could be the side of the person, the front of the person, the other side of the person, behind the person. One thing leads to another. The true martial arts of Bruce Lee, that he can basically hurt you so bad that he could kill you. And the entrance from it, I mean, you just mentioned earlier the Pak Sao, Guao Choi, Lap Sao. Okay, through entry, let's say I'm a boxer and you in boxing stance, right? And you go to throw in that jab, they got this thing, instead of calling it Pak Sao, they call it gunting. In Filipino, is scissors. So from the gunting, you could go into that gunting, and that one step to it, you could be in a 45-degree, like you're a lefty or a righty throwing your jab at me. I'm stepping to the right at a 45. This is the triangle, the pyramid, or the triangle. I step to my right after you shoot your jab, and I'm crossing my hands. It's called a gunting, but I'm hitting your ulnar nerve at the same time, and then I'm gonna use Jeet Kune Do to straight peer your fucking throat. I'm gonna boom, go straight into the throat, and then from the throat, once I'm already at that position, my muscle memory kicks in, and that's when I could go into a grappling position, because it allows me to step behind you. Now I already got your neck. I can either pull your neck up and bring you down, because now your triangle is off centered.
Definitely.
Because you don't like my positioning where I'm at now. I'm in the side of you. I could pull you to my direction, and you'll fall off balance. And there's a way that you could demonstrate that. It's like if a guy's in his South Orthodox style, and the guy's in his Orthodox style, and then he throws his jab, and then you pass it. You could grab that arm, and just to show you, because that guy already has his front left foot forward, so now he don't have anything behind him, behind that left foot. Only way he can gain his balance is to move that left foot, instead of forward, move it backwards, because now it gives him an angle that he has balance. It's hard to explain it, but if you following what I'm telling you,
no, I understand.
That's how.
No, I understand.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's how you gain the entry in. Right. And once you have that entry, it's all over.
It's
once I'm in trapping, grappling range. Oh, you fuck.
Exactly. Now, I just want to get to Tony's reviews, because I've always heard him say this, and I'm sorry, brother, but I got to debunk you, bro. Listen, Bruce Lee was not a competing fighter. but he was a fighter. Can you explain to me, without asking for any links, because there's no links going to be given, could you explain to me and OG Boogie on why guys that used to compete and even masters on demonstrations where he used to tell them, just come on down with whatever you got, and he defeated everything they threw? These were black belts. These were competing champions. These were Ed Parker himself. I mean, you got to understand.
Joe Louis.
Exactly.
And I don't mean Joe Louis, the boxer. I mean Joe Louis, the heavyweight karate champion back in those days.
That's what I'm saying. You got to understand. He defeated guys that were competing. So Bruce Lee competing, he was more like a master. He basically broke down a lot of styles with simplicity. And especially guys that this is exactly what his whole shit. Get rid of all that form and all of that kata. You got to get rid of that because that's not really doing anything. You see? So Bruce Lee was hands-on fighting, but looking polished with technique and meaning. Now, there, like I said, you can say he wasn't a fighter. He was a master. He didn't have to compete because here, guys that had to go and compete and all this shit, he would just throw a demonstration with them. Come on down, and he would destroy them. As a matter of fact, there's a video out there where he's sparring. I forgot who it was. It was a karate national champion, and he was known, and he's sparring him. And Bruce Lee is so quick that he's only using his left side. No, excuse me. He's only using his right. He's using his right arm and he's for a jab and a hook, and he's only using his legs. He only uses his left just to block whatever kick the guy's coming from. Bro, with that one jab, Bruce Lee was knocking him the fuck down. Every time the guy would kick, Bruce Lee would kick his kick. Have you ever seen anybody kick a roundhouse kick with a roundhouse kick? This is exactly what Bruce Lee did. Now, you may not believe in it because you probably fell into the mythos of the Hollywood mainstream and how they desecrated this man's legend. But if you're a martial artist like OG Boogie and myself and others that are really, really like extreme into it and have known people that have known Bruce Lee and that have studied with Bruce Lee and that have actually shown you footage of Bruce Lee, and you can't argue with that if you're just living off of mainstream shit. I'm sorry if you might take this to the asshole, but it's the truth. You know what I'm saying? It is the truth. Bruce Lee is the grandfather of mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, go
that I can concur.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what I mean? And
Because
Dalai Lama, hold on, one more thing. And Dalai Lama, yeah, that style, that is a lethal style. See, I did Boran kickboxing. That's more of what Tony Jaa does, which is the basic scrimmage, but it's hardcore. You got your elbows, your knees, you know what I'm saying? Of course, you got your headbutts on the inside, and it's also got a grappling technique.
We call that hubat.
Yeah, exactly. And in Thailand they call it Buran. You know what I mean? And Burmese and all that stuff. So it's crazy on how fight styles are created into a system, and how Bruce Lee would find the flaws within that system. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You know, and that's just basically it. It's not a debate, Tony. This is just your opinion. You know what I'm saying? And I understand you're a very opinionated brother, but sometimes you can go overboard, bro. You don't know what you're talking about, Tony. You really don't know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what he's saying. I can't see what he's saying.
Well, basically, here, I'll put it up here. He's saying Bruce Lee wasn't a fighter at all. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No.
Like, he don't know.
Hey, Tony.
Look, it's on
Tony.
look, it's on the board.
Look, Tony.
I put it on the board. Check it out.
Tony, I'm gonna let you know something, brother. If you know the secrets that I know, you wouldn't be saying that.
Here we go. All right, look, this is what he put up.
If you seen the footages that I've seen, you wouldn't be saying that.
Check it out. He says, Bruce was a great martial artist, but with all due respect, he wasn't a fighter. You have to fight to be a fighter. So let me ask you a question then. Hold on. Let me ask you a question because that's kind of asinine. How is it that he's a martial artist and not a fighter? How does that work out? Because Bruce Lee didn't practice forms. Bruce Lee, if anything, told him to get rid of forms. Just because yeah, go ahead.
More or less, he sparred all the time. So if that you're saying the perception of a martial artist, but he wasn't a fighter. But okay, a martial artist, you got to fight. A fighter, you still got to fight.
And then he also says there is only one fight of Bruce on film. He got his ass whooped in China. Wow, that's a lie.
No, no. Please show me that fucking fake shit because that shit is bullshit.
Hold on,
I call you out on that bullshit, Tony.
Hold on,
You show me that.
He says he was never a karate champion. No doubt. He didn't study karate.
No, he didn't. Ain't nobody say he was a karate champion. You brought it out. I didn't say it.
And then he says
Jedi didn't say it.
And then he says he never won a boxing title. My man was a boxing champion. What are you talking about?
I don't understand that part.
It's just a bias. It's just a bias.
At the time that he did, he was what, 16?
Yeah. Terrorizing Navy, guys from the Navy, beating their ass.
Yeah.
And this was said by his father. This was not the movies either. This was said by his brother, Steve. This was said by a lot of people. Bruce Lee used to beat grown men up with just knowing Wing Chun at the time.
Put it this way.
Yeah.
Carlos Norris. Carlos Ray Norris, under his breath, he want to say a whole bunch of shit, but you know what? Ultimately, he still gives Bruce Lee respect, and he was a fucking 3-time champion, karate champion. And you know what? Why he do that? Because he knew he used to get his ass whooped by Bruce.
Now check this out. I'm gonna break it down to you, Tony, since you said he never won. I just Googled it for you. I did the simple thing. I already knew this, but I Googled it for you. In 1958, Bruce Lee won the Hong Kong Schools boxing tournament, knocking out previous champions, Gary Elms, in the final. That year, Lee was also a cha-cha-cha dancer, winning Hong Kong's Crown Colony Cha-Cha-Cha Championships. It's funny because his martial arts styles was Wing Chun, boxing, and Kung Fu. So I don't know where you're getting your stories from. You can Google that. You can also Google a lot of things on Bruce. They're not going to lie. You know what I'm saying? It's there, you know? And he says Chuck Norris was never a real fighter. Wow.
What? He was a fucking champion.
Bro, you don't know shit about martial arts, bro. Stick to boxing. You're my man and everything, but no. Google it.
Look, Tony, my brother. I'm telling you from experience. Look, my brother. Look, look. Listen to me now. This is one-on-one. We one-on-one right now. Okay. I've studied with the man that was with the man. I've studied with him. I've been to his house. He showed me his private collections that nobody ever seen. He showed me films, and he only gives that to his most valuable students that was under him. Yes, I don't push the schools and all that stuff. No, I don't do that. I keep the shit personal to me because that's what martial arts is to me. And I'm telling you, there is a misconception that Bruce Lee was not a fighter. He will whip motherfuckers' ass. Whether people believe me or not, when they look at me right now.
Let me hold on. Let me fix that up. Let me fix that up. He was quoting. My bad, Tony. My bad. I read that too fast.
Okay,
he was quoting. He said Chuck Norris literally said, but even though what you're saying now is a lie, because I'm gonna look it up. Chuck Norris, if anything was said, Bruce Lee was the most lethal man in the world. He said that he literally said that I was a real fighter. Bruce Lee wasn't.
I think I heard him might have said that phrase, but then he redacted, and because Chuck Norris always had a thing because he always wanted to be in the spotlight. Look at him now with his carpet and shit.
What's funny is that Chuck Norris was taught by Bruce Lee on how to high kick. After that, he won the rest of his fucking titles nice and clean. Bruce Lee
Bruce also taught him also grappling moves because Bruce, when he was with Gene LaBelle in the 50s, doing the motherfucking Green Hornet 60s or whatever, early 60s, late 50s, doing the Green Hornet, Gene LaBelle was the stunt guy in that thing. That's how all these guys meet. Gene LaBelle was a stunt guy. Bruce got into that film or that television series, and then Gene LaBelle started teaching him judo. Okay, because Gene LaBelle was the godfather of judo. If you don't know that, he's the also one that taught Ronda Rousey's mom, taught Ronda Rousey. Okay, he also taught many other students. Gene LaBelle was the first Khabib Magomedov because he used to wrestle his bear. Okay,
Right,
that's how
right.
strong this motherfucker was.
Right. Hold on. Give me a second. Tony, watch your fucking mouth. Don't call me a fucking idiot because I just motherfucking corrected myself. So take that shit back. Don't you ever come out of line with me, nigga. I never fucking called you anything at that. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, bro. It's all good. Go ahead. But like I said, man, look, this is a topic. This is a topic that people don't like because a lot of, like I said, motherfuckers weren't born at the time, and then they're covered and laced with all these stories about this man. But like you have inside source. See, bro, I've got to say, look, OG knows. Can I say it? Can I say it, OG?
Yeah, go ahead.
He knows Danny Inosanto. He knows all of these guys that trained with Bruce Lee, especially Guru Dan, who used to be a practitioner with Bruce Lee, who used to do maneuvers and be a perfectionist with Bruce. A lot of you guys.
There's only 3 people that certified under Bruce that actually have certification to instruct the method of Jeet Kune Do, and there's only 3 people: Taki Kimura, Danny Inosanto, and I believe what's the other dude? Shit, I forgot the other fucking person. There's those are the only 3. Taki Kimura went underground. Danny Inosanto brought it he popularized it through the respect out of Linda Lee. And then what he did was they conformed which is not known, but it's called the inner circle.
Right.
And the people that's in there, Linda Lee, Danny Inosanto, and a couple other martial artists.
Yeah, I hear that. Yo, Tony, nobody getting tough, nigga. I'm not H Money, my dude. And you know what? Go fuck yourself, dog. Fuck you. Yeah, go ahead. Fuck Tony Reviews. That nigga's a fucking condescending bitch. Go ahead, bro.
I don't know the guys.
Man, he comes off like a fucking jerk in a lot of points. You know what I'm saying? He comes off like a fucking bitch. And then when you're correct, he continues and continues. He's an antagonizer. I ain't got no time for bitch niggas like that.
All I know is, Tony, if you knew the secrets that I was blessed with.
That nigga's a fucking know-it-all. He's one of those guys that thinks he knows it all, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't got no time for stupid motherfuckers like that, man. I really don't. And I thought he was a different person. But his fucking stories are all from bias. Like, he's the type of motherfucker, if I don't see, I don't believe. Man, go fuck yourself with that. I'm not wasting. Me and OG are not wasting nobody's time with this as to us telling fibs or something like that. Ain't nobody doing that shit. We actually telling the truth here. But I
live my life the way I live my life. I don't need to lie or be deceiving to anybody.
No doubt. And he,
everybody that knows me in the martial arts world, that knows me in who I am, I keep it truthful.
Right. And
I'm a humble man. I'm a humble man, and I give you your fair's due. Now, if you prove me wrong, then I'll look at you differently. But I'm not gonna be condescending to a person.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, and then check this shit out. Like, Pigeon was telling him that because I, like I said, and I retracted. After I retracted my statement.
I heard you redact your statement.
Exactly. Whoever said anything else after that should have just been ignored because I already retracted it, right? And I said,
Yes.
you know what? No, my bad. He said, right? He shouldn't have even said anything to anybody else who said that because that person, Pigeon, would have told him, oh, my bad, because Pigeon saw it. And if you look in the comment section, Pigeon even tried to tell him, oh, shit, I try to be nice and try to say, yo, I now understand you didn't say that because Jedi corrected himself. But he just kept on. Now he's saying, oh,
Yeah.
you trying to be tough. Nigga, just because you lift weights and you challenge H Money, nigga, I'm a different animal, man. Don't fuck with me, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like this is what I mean about stupid motherfuckers, man. I ain't never fucking with that ass nigga again,
I
dog.
just don't pay no mind. I try to, keep it going, and I'm the type of person you got to show me. You want to put hands on me? As soon as you go put hands on me, you just gave me all the rights to what's coming your way. You gave me all the rights too. As soon as you touch me, that's the type of man I am.
Yeah. Then that's basically I ain't gotta make no videos. If this nigga want to make a video on me, that'll be the worst thing he's ever done. That's for real, for real. I heard he got into a little fucking debate with somebody else on somebody else's live yesterday and shit. I ain't that person, dog. I'll eat your beans on this shit. But anyway, so people gotta understand, people gotta understand, man. Bruce Lee was a practitioner, and you gotta understand, you don't really, if you practice, if you spar every day, if you practice styles every day, if you're physical with another human being and you're going 75 to 85%, right? You know, as to going at each other with power behind it, right? And you're sparring and shit. And then when it comes to demonstrations where it's an exhibition, these guys are wearing pads. He's not. He's telling them to come with whatever the fuck he got, and he's telling them, I bet I can touch you before you can touch me. And what happens before they even get the setup and the ref goes, Ajame, what happens? My man already hit him and got back into the jabbing position while the dude was in the middle of movement going, oh, shit, I didn't see that.
Bro, Bruce has, from what I understood from Guru Dan, and I want y'all to go look at Danny Inosanto when he was sparring with Eric Paulson. It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
And this is a fucking 70-something-year-old man. Now, imagine he's 70-something, late 60s when he was doing this with Eric Paulson.
Yeah.
Now, imagine, and he said, dude, my speed, I was nothing to Bruce.
Yeah.
Bruce can snatch a fucking thing out your hand. That's how fast he was. He could snatch a quarter. He could snatch anything out of your hand. By the time you even close it, you already got it.
Exactly. And
Now,
yo, Dalai Lama, the 52 blocks, that style is a prison style, and it feeds off of Wing Chun. And I kind of know some of it. It's a pretty cool style. My bad. I had to get that out. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, brother. So you were saying?
No, I was just reading this.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. They always going to dispute about Bruce Lee. That's true because they never see. Look, only the people that confronted him knows that motherfucker was the shit.
Exactly. And people
because look at how many people are talking about him still, and the motherfuckers that said that went or how many people do you know said that Bruce Lee kicked the ass? You know why? They ain't gonna fucking say it.
Yep. And that's what I'm saying. A lot of motherfuckers probably believe that once upon a time in Hollywood shit that's how Bruce Lee was. You know what I'm saying? That's how this Tony came off. And Lance, he seemed cool, but he's very condescending. You know what I'm saying? And this has been building up. You know,
one thing about Bruce Lee from
No, I'm not talking about Bruce Lee. I'm talking about Tony's reviews. Yeah. I'm just saying, you know,
no. But I was saying one thing that Guru Dan explained to me on Bruce Lee's mannerism he was cocky, yes, but not a dispolite cocky. But
Right.
if he had a temper,
Hmm.
if you say something off your mouth to him, he ready to fuck you up.
Yep. Yep.
That was like his. He reminds me, and this is no disrespect. He reminds me of my younger self. You know what I'm saying? My younger self. I always was very temperamental, and I never backed down to anyone. I didn't
Right.
care if the dude used to be taller than me. Dude, I got into a fight, me and my brother, because of my ass. Instead of letting it go, this guy was 17 years old. I was playing basketball, 12 years old. He stole my ball. He took my ball. He said something to me, and I walked up to him. And I said, "Fuck you!" Boom! I punched him in the face. He hit me in my stomach. You know, he big kid. He hit me in my stomach. I bent over. Next thing you know, my brother came in. Next thing you know, we got 7 months. His I'll tell you the guy's name, Sean Cochran. Sean Cochran fucking jumped on my brother, bit him on the chest. My brother fucking him up. Next thing you know, 6 of his cousins jump in. I had to go into a fucking trash can. This was in near uh 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 shit in Cozy, well, near Fairfield Towers. I had
Yeah.
the elementary school right across the street from it. I had to grab a fucking bottle out of the trash can, 40s, you know, because back in the days that was 40s. So, man, dude, I took 2 40s and started bashing motherfuckers in the head with it.
Damn.
That's how violent I was.
My man is crazy, son. But he fucking nut. But no, look, what happened with Tony Reviews right now, everybody, I'm sorry about that, but you know what I'm saying? He came out with you talking tough. Nigga, you ain't talking to a child, you're talking to a nigga who's possibly could be, you know what I'm saying, your older fucking uncle. You know what I mean? I've never come off like that to him. So the moment a motherfucker come off like that, it's fuck your life. And that's that. He can make as many videos as one. I find out you make a video about me, bro, I'm gonna finish your whole fucking YouTube career. You know what I'm saying? That's just basically it. Leave it alone. Walk up into the fucking sunset and leave me alone, dog. That's all I gotta say to Tony's Reviews. You got a little condescending. You calling niggas idiots when nobody even fucking calling you a name, and I don't rock like that. You know that when you come here, it should be fucking peace. You know what I mean? And at the same time, if you take a look, he also retracted his shit, but you too a little excited. You know, I think you're a little bit too much with the weights, you fucking juice head. You know what I'm saying? You just got on my fucking nerves with that shit, bro. I hate motherfuckers that you give them courtesy and then they think that they could come in because nigga, get the fuck up on out of here, bro. On rollerblades and pink, nigga. Yeah, so Pigeon says in UK schools in the 70s and 80s, teachers hit kids.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, they had the rulers and shit, you know.
Yeah. I remember that. I remember my father told me that back in his day, a nun, because he used to go to Catholic school, she hit him right on
Yeah.
top of the hand with a ruler, and he smacked that bitch. Yeah. Yep. And then what was funny is that my grandmother, she went into the school and she grabbed the nun by the fucking neck because she almost broke my father's hand. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I
because
was
back
so
then-
violent back. I was
Yeah.
so violent back in the days. You know those glass with the gates inside of it, they're about an inch thick.
Yes.
All right, and they about like 3 inches, 4 inches wide, and then there's long. Well, my homeboy, and this is my homeboy, he talks shit about my mom, and I don't like when people talk shit about. I don't disrespect nobody's family member or anything. If I'm gonna keep it personal, I keep it personal to you. You know what I'm saying? So my boy said something about my mom, and he turned his back. I punched right through that bitch. Grabbed him. I was 12. I grabbed that motherfucker, and then the glass, because it still got the wire in it.
Yeah.
When I
Oh man. Yeah.
I try to rip his head through that damn space.
Yeah.
And I pulled back, the glass took a chunk out my wrist. And I still got the mark.
Yo, that's funny because I had put my hand through one of those too, and that shit cut my it almost severed my wrist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It almost cut my wrist.
Going through it's okay, but when you pull it back, that's when it squeezes you again. Yeah.
That shit was crazy. And how that happened was,
That shit had a chunk. That shit had a chunk of my meat on my wrist on the side, right? On the glass, and then I grabbed my wrist. I was like, damn. I grabbed my wrist, started putting pressure, and I looked at him in his face, and that motherfucker eyes was like, oh my God. I said, dude, if I ever see you again, I'll tell you his name, Mario. If I ever see you again, Mario, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
he says, this time,
I've never seen him again, bro.
he said, this time, I'm really going to put you through the glass, son. What up, man? But
if Mario, you out there, you remember, you know how crazy I was.
No doubt, man. But man, we was all nuts back in our days, bro. I remember when I used to fly kick. I remember when I used to
kids.
I remember when I used to fly kick niggas across the chest, bro. Like I used to run across the chest, bro. And my favorite move was as soon as they came in to try to grab me, I would come around with a sweep, and they would fall.
Oh damn!
And then I turn them around and just straight up ground and pound, and then take their ears and put my thumbs in their mouth. So just imagine. But just imagine my thumbs on the corners of your mouth and my fingers grabbing your ears, and I would bang their head on the floor, son.
Yeah.
I was an animal, son. I got a lot of teeth. I got a lot of
my brother,
bro.
My brother was my first teacher, because my brother used to fight all the time. Okay. Yeah. Even when he went to jail, he used to be the gladiator in the jails up in stuff. The guards used to let them fight. Put money on them and shit, and then they get you know how it rolls. Anyway, so my brother was the first one who taught me martial art. His first move was when you're in front of somebody, you're gonna act like you're gonna kick them, right? And then you just stomp right on their feet, and then that's when you come with a punch and grab the back of their head and up hubot them, do a headbutt upwards. That was the first martial art move I ever learned. My brother taught me.
Word up, man. I'm telling you, man, and I have to be grateful to my father, right? Because my father, he was a Vietnam 173rd Airborne, you know what I'm saying? And the first thing he taught me was boxing. And then after that, he put me into kickboxing, right? And then after that, he passed. So my kickboxing instructor told me, yo, you wanna sort of like box for America in this little group that we got. We go to Thailand, you know what I'm saying, every month and stuff. I was like, yeah, let's go. Let's do it. And that's how, you know what I'm saying, I got into this shit. And I would go, back and forth and shit. And then when I used to come home, I used to hang out with friends, from around the block and shit like that. And then I would always be training. And then later on in life, as I got older, I tried to get back into it. I started training with Maximilian Chen and over in Manhattan, New York City. He had his studio over on 23rd and 5th Avenue. So Maximilian Chen, his sister Tiffany Chen, and his father Chen Senior, which is like the 10th master, the 10th Grand Master in the world with sticky hands and Tai Chi. He knows all levels of Tai Chi. So he also is the creator of Sanshao Chinese kickboxing. You know what I mean? So as I got, when I was older, I went in there like after I left over there about 5 years later. So I was about maybe 36, 37. So I went back and did a little bit of formal training and stuff like that. And bro, I got so into tip top shape. Like I never competed under Master Chen's banner. Never did. But bro, I got so ripped. I was much more intact and much more in tune than I was when I was younger as I got older, simply because I knew what I was doing at this time now. As you mature and for some reason, it's like you can learn how to drive when you're 15 and drive all the way to 21, right? And then not drive for like 5 years. And then the moment as you're older, you get behind the wheel, you drive much better than you ever done. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? This is why I think
Yeah.
some fighters they fight and then they take some time off and then they come back and they become so victorious. You know, and that's because the time off, their body got to heal. The muscle memory was actually programmed into the mind, and that was basically it.
Yeah, you have to allow your body to heal,
Mm-hmm.
especially through a lot of abuse. You know, when Bruce did all his exercise and all that, he was young. Our physical, from what I'm 51, my physical being, I still have some of my attributes, but some of it also diminished.
Right.
So I have to be more applicable if I was in a position.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That will be conducive for my muscle memory and not be able to relinquish uh my attributes to that person. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
Like
Right.
if I was to get in a fight right now, I have to use my mind to dissect the situation, make it applicable to myself, and then I have to react when it's no way out. You
Yep.
understand?
Yep. Yep. That's exactly what it is. It's like right now, Manny Pacquiao. Like, of course, he's diminished, but it's mostly mind, right? He gets in there and he basically figures you out now. It's not as much as when you're younger, you let your physicality do the talk, do everything
Yeah,
for you.
yeah.
Now it's more like a chess game. As you get older, and you know that, like me, if I was to compete again, bro, I'll probably have maybe good 6, 7 more fights in me. That's it. That would be it.
Yeah.
And that's only because I left at the age of 25 because I had my daughter, my firstborn.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So just imagine I train now for about 6 months, then I go back. I'll probably have like a good 6 or 7 good fights in me. That would be it. And I would be diminishing from the 5th all the way to the 7th fight, and I probably would lose those last 3 because I'm diminished.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's also your strategy in there. Sometimes when you build the strategy in the gym, it doesn't work in ring. Sometimes you've gotta adjust and you've gotta dissect, like you said, the problem, and then you have to improvise a plan that's going to adapt. You know what I mean? And this is why flow like water, be like water, pertains to every situation.
Yeah, because you at that moment of conflict,
Right.
at that moment of disparity, that's when you most alive.
Right.
That's when everything is firing. Your adrenaline is pumping. Everything is. But if you're smart enough and you allow your muscle memory to adapt what your mind taught it, you will react, and it will be more in a positive outcome for you.
Mm. Mm.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right.
100%. Yeah, no doubt, kid. No doubt. And also want to add in how many pounds of pressure do you think Bruce Lee used to hit with? Like, first, let's do that 1-inch punch, right? Now, of course, you got some heavyweight boxers that hit with like pounds of pressure, like what 889, what is it, a 770, and those are big numbers. What do you?
Damn, if that's big number, I punched one of those things in my peak condition when I was a boxer. I broke that motherfucker.
That's imagine Lee hitting that. Imagine Lee hitting one of those punch counters. You know what I mean? I think the bag would have exploded.
Nah, because inside it has like a square punch. It will probably explode the bag, but I think in more reality, if he was to punch that bitch and it didn't explode, his pressure would have knocked it upward and just locked that bitch in there.
Probably.
And then next thing you know, all of a sudden that motherfucker just dropped. And
Yeah.
you be like, damn, the bitch is broke.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he probably would have broke the crank mechanism. He probably
Yeah,
definitely would have broke that whole arm, definitely. Because I see.
goddamn right. Because his power was not like, like it's like, damn, I don't know how to explain it, man. That's how powerful that motherfucker was when he hit you, bro.
Yeah,
It's just like when, to explain my way, how I used to, people didn't know how strong I am and how powerful I used to punch. And the more you made me mad, I felt like the motherfucking human Hulk that you made me mad. I'm gonna hit you harder.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, dude, I broke a nigga jaw. I broke this dude's jaw, and I had on fucking 10-ounce gloves.
Mm.
I shattered his shit, bro.
Damn.
His whole fucking. When I hit him with, it was like a dip under. At the same time, I dipped under, hook to the body, because I was trained that way. That was my forte, my body shots.
Yeah.
I got hellacious body shots. So I dip under, hit a body shot on the way under, dipping if you're throwing your left at me, your jab, I'm dipping under your shit and hitting you with a body and come back up, hitting you with a right cross, and then come back with a left hook.
Right.
That was my combo. So when I hit the dude, when I hit this dude, you just saw his mouthpiece, blood, everything splattered, pow. And then he ran right into my left hook. Boom.
Damn.
When he landed into my left hook, that motherfucking neck snapped and just turned. And he was like paralyzed, bro. His arm was out there and he just fell down with his arm extended out right there, not moving, nothing. Motherfucker bleeding out through his mouth, bro.
Yeah, you turned his lights out, bro. You stopped the circulation. You cut all circulation off. Yeah, man. He didn't pay his Con Ed bill, so you turned his lights out. No doubt. You know what I'm saying?
Con Ed. I haven't heard that in a long time, brother.
No up. And see, the thing is, I also want everybody to understand this. Look, when it comes to Bruce Lee, and I strongly suggest that people understand this off top. When it comes to Bruce Lee, if you're from this era and from the one before this, you're not gonna believe anything because you weren't born in the times that we were. You see, we had Bruce Lee in our life. We had secrets and teachings that were out there at the time that you guys didn't know about. And then now, millennia later, right, decades later, we come and we bring you the real and what we saw, and people want to argue, they want to be condescending, and it's okay. I understand. But what I'm not having is people trying to downplay or even reject anything that OG Boogie, my man over here, and myself took time out, and we planned this, and there's going to be a part 2 to this. We planned this for months for you guys, and for someone to disrupt and be the way he is like that, to just come up and because I find it as an insult. I find it an insult to my guest. I find it an insult to my people that follow me. I find that as an insult. So obviously there was no respect coming from him. This is exactly why I just cut him the fuck off. And people have to understand, I am 46 years old, going on 47. I do not have time for any of this bullshit. Neither does OG. OG is older than me, and he definitely don't have any more fucking time for this bullshit. So when we come on here and we try to educate y'all with what we know and what we've studied, we are very grateful for those that are paying attention and asking questions. And there's a lot of question marks as to Bruce Lee was a boxer. So OG and myself are very glad that we could bring this to your life so that way you can do the research. All Tony had to do was do the research, but instead he wanted to be condescending. He wanted to talk to people in my fucking comment section like if he's not part of this or wasn't part of this family. That's exactly why I did what I did. So if anybody got a problem with me because I did what I did to Tony because Tony tried to do what he wanted to do on my channel, you let me the fuck know. Otherwise than that, for OG Boogie, my man, and the Boxing Jedi, we want y'all to stay tuned because part 2 to this live will be coming up very soon. and it's going to be a bit more technical because we're going to talk on weaponry. We're going to talk on all types of fucking robes and gear from different fight styles. And we're also going to talk about the myth of Bruce Lee losing, getting his back broke like they did in Bruce Lee the Dragon story. We're going to debunk all that shit on the next live. You know what I'm saying? You have any outgoing words that you want to let the fight fans know, OG?
Yeah. Never believe a story that you cannot confirm. You have to do your own research. But from my perspective, and I'm being honest to you, everything that I've learned through my teachers, my instructors, and also from my family, I have to be a man and walk my path honestly. So that's all I have to say to y'all out there. Be who you are, be kind to who you be yourself. If you're an evil person, it will show. If you're a good person, it will show.
Yep.
If you're an honest man, it will show.
Yep.
Just be yourself. You don't have to change yourself or modify yourself to nobody.
Yep.
Just
Definitely.
remember that. Have people respect for who you are.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes,
be
sir.
respectful.
Definitely, man. What's up, Brown Gone One? What's going on, brother? We'll answer that on the second live to this, which is the backstory of Bruce Lee and the mob bosses on how.
Oh, and I want to add, Jedi. Next time, I'm bringing pictures.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna blur out my face because I don't want nobody knowing who
definitely.
I am or anything, especially with the line of work that I do. You know what I'm talking about. So, yeah.
Definitely.
I'm gonna show pictures of these are the people that I studied with, and you could go look in your research and whatever. Danny Nasanto, Arjan Chai Siddhasut.
Yeah.
He's the godfather. He's the godfather of Muay Thai Association. He's the president of the Muay Thai Association. He brought Muay Thai to United States in 1970.
Boom.
And I also studied with Eric Paulson. He was my classmate. I also studied with Frank Cucci, Navy SEAL. I also studied with Pedro Sauer, which is I also studied with Hickson Gracie.
There we go. My man got a deep resume. So this is why OG and myself wanted to bring you this, because OG knows when it comes to Bruce Lee, because like I said, he was with Bruce Lee's disciples. He was with Bruce Lee's friends and teachers and students. So if you want to authenticate it, wait for the second live that we give you guys. Otherwise than that, OG, thank you very much, man, for sharing your experience, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, God bless you, my brother. It's a pleasure to do this anytime, bro.
No doubt, bro. And you too, my brother. And anytime, bro, you know what I'm saying? My platform's your platform. And we're going to be working on part 2 as to where, we're going to break it down. And OG's going to show you the proof that he's talking. Otherwise than that, for OG Boogie and myself, the Boxing Jedi, I'm your boy, the Boxing Jedi, telling the truth within the sport of boxing, along with OG in martial arts and life itself. God bless.
God bless.
Stay vigilant. Peace.
Be like water.